Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today's topic is going to be, is it possible to make $100,000 as a mechanic? This question had been brought up in a video that Rich V had done, and I'll put a link down to his channel down in the description so you can go and watch it so you can get his perspective on it. But that was the question that he had is can you really make $100,000 as a mechanic? If we're being entirely honest with ourselves, yeah, it all depends. It all depends. So let's talk about what it depends on. So it depends on one, if you're a shop owner. If you're a shop owner, yeah, you can make that easily, I'm sure. Especially depending on how busy you are. But then you have to, it also depends on like what type of work you're doing. Are you an all general purpose shop where you do everything, tires, alignments, brakes, engines, heads, all that other stuff? Or are you more centralized in one specific area, like a transmission shop or heating and air conditioning shop or a radiator shop or just a tire shop or small maintenance kind of thing? Or are you an off-road shop or a lift kit shop? So again, it depends on what it is that you're doing, and how much overhead you have as a shop owner will determine how much you can pay yourself at the end of the year. So that would be one situation where it would be possible. Another one would depend on entirely where you live and what your state laws are. Are you in a busy metropolitan city? Are you in the middle of nowhere? What's your state's rules on as far as if you're a mechanic and you work for a shop and you have to provide your own tools? Are there stipulations in play where you get twice the amount of minimum wage, which is the case for most dealerships here in California, not necessarily an independent shop or tire shop. Then it also depends on if you're salary plus commission. So I've seen foremans that make salary plus commission, and they can make about $75,000 a year. So relatively close, but not exactly 100 grand. But let's face it, most of you are going to start out at the $10 range. And most are going to top out around $35. The reason why I say that is because I think one of the highest hourly positions as far as a mechanic were concerned was like $35 an hour, and that was over in Las Vegas as a Chrysler tech. Now, how they break that down, if that's a flat rate or if that's an hourly plus commission thing and that's their commissional bonus, I have no idea. But I know a handful of techs when I was going to Chrysler classes that were actually contemplating going out to Las Vegas because they were looking for level 3 techs, and they were paying $35 an hour plus commission plus a sign-on bonus. Okay, so what's the average though? So on average, you're probably going to make anywhere between $15 and $20 an hour average. So let's think about the high, the low, and the in-between, and what you can kind of guesstimate what your income level is going to be. And I would say this applies to about 70% of you that are actually getting into this industry. So at $10 an hour, you're looking at about $19,200 for the year. It's not a whole hell of a lot, so hopefully you have a spouse that's also working and can contribute towards your cost of living, because let's face it, cost of living is going up, and the wages are a little bit slower on catching up to that. And then if you top out at $35 an hour, you're right around $67,200-ish. So that's at $35 an hour, and that would depend if, like, again, if you were in in Vegas and you were in a busy shop and they were offering you something like that. The average, so if you're average Joe, and this, again, I think this applies to about 70% of you, including myself, we're probably more around the $35,000 to $38,000 range. Not really a killer lot. Definitely livable. Just you're not going to be buying a mansion anytime soon, or a Maserati. So let's face facts here for a minute. So there's one other situation that I've seen that it could be possible, and I don't know because he didn't share the details with me as far as how much he got paid. But if you're in a salary plus commission team, so if you have a team of lube techs that are learning the trade and they fall underneath you, you actually get the hours that they do, and then they get paid $10 an hour. So if you've got a couple of guys that are really good at banging out recalls, flushes, and things like that, and you're diagnosing cars, and maybe you have the occasional heavy line job that you toss into the mix, it might be possible to make 100 grand depending on if you're in a team strategy kind of thing. They did try that at one of the Chrysler dealerships that I was at. It didn't work out well for them, so they didn't do it anymore. So everyone was pretty much on their own little program. But in state, is it possible to make $100,000 as a mechanic? Yeah, but you're talking about maybe like the 30 percentile. So if you're in the 70 percentile, chances are you're probably not going to make anything north of about $38,000 per year. If you're in that 30 percentile, or you're in a team, or you're a shop owner, or you live in a busy city and you got a flat rate system that's in place that is just totally doable and stacking enough hours to where you can do it, yeah, okay, I can kind of see that. It's a little bit difficult for me to see something like that because I've only ever heard of a few different situations where someone can make that much, but it's very highly unlikely. If you're getting into this trade to make buku dollars, your best bet is to start pre-planning now for owning your own shop. Learn as much as you possibly can about the trade, about licensing, about certifications, maybe, go to some extra diag classes on the side. I know a lot of guys that do that. Prepare yourself to become a shop owner later down the road. Or pull in some side work and work at the house after work, which you could also probably make some pretty good money that way too. But again, now you're taking a lot of extra time. So you're already working a full-time job. Now you're working around the clock in the evenings, plus on weekends. You're not going to have much of a lifestyle outside of pretty much working on cars around the clock, and you might get burnt out. So I found that for me, so that way I don't get burnt out in this trade, is when I'm on and I'm Monday through Friday and I'm my 8 to 5, that's when I'm working on cars. When I'm at the house and it's my off time, that's when I like to do my own stuff, whether it's YouTube or welding or wood carving or taking the family out to a nice outing, whether it's just to walk around in the park or to go play on the playground or go to dinner or something like that. I do anything and everything outside of automotive because I don't want to get burnt out. I've been there, I've done it, and it wears on you. But that'll pretty much wrap up my video. That's my response to Rich V. Look, is it possible? Yes, but again, the very small percentile. That's all I got. If you agree with me or you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you disagree with me, you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. But when you do, share with me your situation. When have you seen, or are you currently making 100 grand as a mechanic or a tech? And if so, what system do they have in place? Like, how does that work for you? Is it because of the city that you're in? Is it because you're in a team building? Or are you a foreman and you're getting paid salary plus commission off of everyone's hours? I would like to know because I haven't really seen it. Like I said, I've only heard of it a handful of times. And I'd like to hear your opinion and thoughts on it. That's all I got for this video, guys. We'll see you next time. Deuces.